Hey, Derek.
Hey, Trey.
Well, we are in our new, thanks to you, new studio, the beginnings of the new studio slash Derek's office.
Yeah, it's coming along.
All right. Well, we started off in a toy hauler. We went to the pool deck. We've shot episodes on the driveway, and we may have found an interior home,
Finally getting a studio.
an actual place where we can shoot it. So it's a little rough. The walls are plain, the floors are in, the door is hung. It may be a little echoey, but we'll get there.
Yeah, today's mostly test it out and
Test it out and see.
figure out where we need to
We
adjust.
may be on the opposite side at some point. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I definitely hear some echo, but I think
Yeah,
we'll be
it'll
okay.
be okay.
We'll get it figured out.
I've done some at my house, and the echo there's it is what it is.
Yeah, we're also in an empty room. So
Yeah.
once we get some stuff in here.
Well, this is episode 63. We just shot episode 62 that I said was 61, but we did episode 62 as a catch up from Loretta's and heading into Unadilla. And man, maybe these guys need a 3-week break more often. The racing was intense this weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked all of it. It's good to see some of these guys back. Cooper was back. Roxon was back.
Yeah.
Who else we missed? Somebody else was there.
We had Roxon joined us.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Garrett Marchbank switched back to the 250s.
Shane McElrath was over to Kawasaki.
No more. He stopped. He got tired of kicking.
Yeah, can you blame him? I'm tired of kicking too.
I don't think he got tired.
No, there was I think that was a long time coming.
Yeah.
Something in the works behind the scenes, but it's all right.
Yeah.
It looked like the Kawasaki fit him well.
Yeah, he did well. I mean, to me, that's a tough change. James talked about that between the guys switching teams. Not only are you switching bikes, you're switching gear, you're switching
everything,
boots, and that stuff at that level, I guess, makes a difference, makes it matter. But the racing was intense, as we mostly always do. We start with the 250s. Levi Kitchen gets the overall, and boy, he looks spicy this weekend.
Yeah, and that's the Levi Kitchen that we've been missing.
Yeah,
that's the Supercross Levi Kitchen there.
But I just have what happened at Washougal, his own home race. Then they come to Unadilla, and I mean, he looked good first moto. He looked exceptional in the second moto.
Yeah.
Deegan is doing what Deegan needs to do to kind of clinch this championship. He didn't lose any points this weekend.
No,
2-1.
It sucks for everybody else because they get points by moto, and Deegan's always somehow seems to get ahead and or hold it level. Because Levi and Hayden both came out with the same amount of points. Yeah. So
and Levi's not really in contention. It was Tom Vial who has a chance, and Tom Vial saved a crashed before he actually crashed in that first moto.
Pulls a 22nd, which is not going to help your points at all.
He must have fallen again because he's better than
he can't keep it together, which is kind of mind blowing to me because Unadilla of all was like his style track. That's like an MXGP track. So I don't know what's going on with him. There's something that's not working.
Well, my thought is this about Unadilla and Tom. I know he can handle the pressure. He won the MXGP series, the MX2 class twice. He is a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe just the Deegan pressure is more.
It's very possible.
If that just because I don't know, I didn't follow the MXGPs that closely years ago. I don't know if maybe he just doesn't like the pressure of Deegan, and it's just tough to answer that bell continually because we've seen Deegan all season long. He just comes back. Mm-hmm. And maybe that relentless pressure. Now, the crash, I don't think the crash had anything to do with Deegan. I think the crash was just one of those. That track was amazing. Michelle and I were watching, and I'm like, watching this race, you get to see how good these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
because they're in ruts nonstop. Or when they're not in ruts, they hit something that kicks them. And that crash, he tried to save it. I thought he had saved it. Then he crashed. I think it's when he got up and not being able to get back.
I tell you what, though, that 250 Moto 1, that track was phenomenal looking.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was ruddy, but it would just look fantastic. Like, it looked like an amateur outdoor track. You know, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
it was so fast.
That's what Max Anstie said. He's like, I cannot believe how fast this track is. But that being said, Unadilla, kudos, what a great job getting that place ready.
Yeah.
With the storm that came through, they canceled press day on Friday because the track was literally
underwater.
But I talked to somebody and they said that it appeared that they went out with a steamroller and steamrolled the track to seal it.
That's crazy.
And then that's what it looked like. They looked like they steamrolled it.
And it looks so good.
Yeah.
Like, that track looked... I could not believe you seen the videos and the pictures of the day before.
Yeah.
And then what it looked like on Saturday. I'm extremely impressed with the way
it dried out enough they had to add water.
Yeah. Yeah, they had water trucks back out when the thing was underwater the day before.
So
mind blowing.
But no, good. Congratulations to Levi. Hayden Deegan doing what Hayden Deegan needs to do. The guy is a pit bull. The kid is just relentless. And I think had he known that Shimoda was going to crash at the end of the second moto, I don't think he would have given in as quickly, because once he gave in, he couldn't even try to reel Levi back in.
No.
But Levi and Shimoda had, poor Shimoda, that was an odd crash, and then to break your collarbone on that odd crash.
Yeah, and it didn't look bad at all.
No, but he was in pain as soon as he hit the ground.
That's where most of my injuries have come from, is like the 2 to 5 mile an hour crashes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way you fall, it screws everything up.
Well, speaking of Team Honda, I have a problem that there is no way that Chance Hymas was conscious when he hit the ground, because you saw his arm where the bike was burned his arm. He posted a picture of his arm.
He never flinched.
He never moved.
And then you got to see the exhaust burning the helmet.
Yeah.
And I rewound that and showed it to my kids. I'm like, look, that exhaust is melting his helmet.
Yeah.
And he never once tried to get that bike off of him.
But they let him go back out from Moto2. Now he pulled himself off.
Yeah.
But
smart.
Why was he even out there? That I'm sorry. This is a tough sport. It's a brutal sport. But there's no way that he should have been allowed to go back out there.
No, I agree. I mean, even as fast as he was riding, I don't know that they were trying to salvage some points or what. Yeah. But sometimes it's not worth it.
No, but he was riding good. That was a big crash. Looked similar to the jet crash at Hangtown, the way it occurred. But the problem he had is I joked that he had a quad crash, because most of the time the bike doesn't chase you. The quads seem to chase you. That bike chased him until it landed on him and pinned him. But no, I feel bad for Honda, because now they do not have I don't know if Chance will come back next week, but they don't have a 250 presence.
I'm sure Chance will be back. Like, I don't think that there was unless he goes into concussion protocol.
Yeah.
But you think that they would have known that after Moto 1, I would imagine.
I cannot believe that being unconscious under the bike.
Yeah.
Oh, they said, oh, he wasn't unconscious. His air. I'm sorry, dude. If I'm burning, I don't care. I may pass out trying to get out, but
yeah, I'm getting that thing off.
Yeah. Biggest fear of any racer is fire and burning.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest fear.
Yeah.
So, while we're handing out kudos, congratulations, Triumph.
Yeah. Yeah, Triumph, third overall.
I mean, 6'4" for Swole.
It's the first time on the box, right?
First time on a podium, overall podium. I mean, fourth in the second moto, outstanding. Poor Savacci, he finished 12th in the second moto, but 40th in the first. He is having more problems than Swole is during the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're doing anything against. I mean, I think they really enjoy having Joey on the bike. I think he's just having some massive teething problems, and you wonder if they're running like almost a parallel universe. Like, all right, we're going to test this on Swole's bike. We're going to test this on your bike because really we need to be involved. But you guys are basically our test riders.
And that's all this season is you know, testing this bike from anywhere from supercross to motocross. I mean, they said they did vigorous testing, but there's only so much real life race testing you can do.
Well, because you can't duplicate that track.
No, you can't duplicate any race conditions. I mean, our races are ever changing, so but it's good. Looked like a good run for PC. Garrett Marchbanks.
Yeah, he's mixed the switch.
You know, comes out and gets a 4th overall.
Yeah.
Tom Asterpole had a rough go. I mean,
did he crash twice in the same corner?
He crashed quite a bit. I mean, I felt terrible for him, but it just sometimes you're gonna have a bad day, and that's what it was for him for sure.
But he did salvage 2 top 10s. So as bad as that is, PC overall, you had 1st, you had 4th, and you had 8th.
Yeah,
that's not bad for basically a team that only has one of its riders riding from the start of the season.
Yeah, and you're gonna wonder what's gonna come next year when they brought Garrett over and they brought Ty over, and they're all fill-ins, but they're doing exceptionally well. Speaking of that, McAdoo's back on a bike this week, so.
And Drew Adams will be joining them.
Yeah.
And Drew Adams seemed to have a little fun up in Canada this weekend.
So you wonder if, speaking of PC, if they're gonna be the new Star Yamaha where they have 12 riders. I mean, because are you gonna let any of these guys go?
Well, Marchbanks is signed. Supposedly Masterpool signed.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Drew Adams is coming over.
They're not gonna let Cameron McAdoo go.
Are they not?
I don't think.
I mean, he caused them to lose 2 titles.
I agree, but is he? They could. I could see it, but you know, maybe they only sign up for Supercross next year.
Maybe.
You know, and they got 5 riders.
Yeah.
I don't know if Faulkner's going to come back.
Yeah, what is the deal? Is he gonna come back? Have we heard anything? I know he's had another setback.
I haven't heard anything on if he's actually coming back or not. So I don't know what's going on. I know that he had his brain surgery.
Yeah. But does he need to come back? I mean,
yeah. At this point, it's why.
You didn't make it out of the start gate, basically. Then you come back, you make it 1 race, and then have a season-ending crash. Like, you've raced 3 times.
Every year you have some kind of issue. So,
and you're good. You're good, but maybe we can do the AC tribute tour before you have to do this again. Like, AC pulled the pin before motocross. Like, you know what? This isn't working.
I can understand wanting to ride Supercross.
Yeah,
you know? Run a season of Supercross and call it quits. I mean, the problem is now these guys got the SMX in their way.
Yeah.
So AC doesn't care. I mean,
he's done.
Well set up anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I mean, I wouldn't. If I was done, I don't think I'd run outdoors. You know.
Yeah.
It's all about Supercross. So.
Well, I mean, he's not gonna. Even if he wanted to come back, he couldn't. He wouldn't qualify for the SMX because he's outside the top 30.
Oh yeah. It's too late now.
It's too late for him to even come back. But Max Dancy did pretty solid with a 3rd and an 8th. Not bad for. He keeps talking about getting comfortable and getting used to the bike, and this track is, like you said, the most European track that they're going to race on.
Yeah.
This and High Point are kind of the that flowy European style hilly, and he did good. 8th. I didn't really pay much attention, but there was so much drama in the top that if you weren't in that mix, you kind of you're just racing to race. But let's touch on Star. Hayden is what Hayden is. Max Dancy's doing Max Dancy things. Jordan Smith, that's actually one of Jordan's, to me, better finishes for the year.
7th overall. Nick Romano,
Nick Romano 13th. There's no way that he's with them next year, right?
I can't imagine. I mean, Bennick had a bad day. He's usually never in that position, but But 13th for Romano is actually pretty decent.
It is decent
this year,
but
it's not. I mean, you're racing Star Yamaha. You should be top 10.
Yeah, I didn't realize how long he had been off. That was him. Who's the one? Was he the one that didn't race for 544 days? Romano.
I can't remember who.
One of them like hadn't raced for a long time and was off, and I'm like, it's over a year. I swear I remember hearing the Romano name, but maybe he was out. Was there anybody else on Star that didn't do anything? No. What happened to Casey Cochran? We'll jump to the. By the way, the Husqvarna bikes look good. That was cool.
And I actually saved a video for us. Did you get to see Christian Craig and throwing the bike around? I got to show this to you, and I'm gonna I'll make us a TikTok out of it. But Christian Craig just was so flowy. But I think it was practice or something. He was just throwing some booters. I mean, I showed my kids, and like I looked at those bikes first. I'm like, man, them things look good. Their gear looks good. That throwback it just was jiving. But then he was throwing some oppos, over some of these jumps, and he was looking back at the riders when he was totally backwards. Like, I have not seen Christian Craig throw a bike around like that in a long time, and it made me happy to see that he's back to that.
Now, and this is gonna sound weird. Did that track break down more because it ended up being somewhat hard packed with the hard ruts? Did that lend to him having such a good weekend because it was California-esque?
No, maybe. I mean, or he's finally just like I told you beginning. It's going to take him time to get back, and then I think we're going to see the new Christian Craig, and I got to look at his results because obviously I don't know exactly how it went, but week by week we get a better Christian Craig.
Yeah.
Results aside, like just watching his riding, his comfortability. I mean, you can tell that he's maybe not 100%, but he's pretty close.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since we've seen that.
But he looked, but for their 250 side, Hampshire's not ready to come back yet. And so they're relying on Cochran. And he went out and did an 11th. Okay, cool. It's 11th. But then had a big one that we didn't see any video of it or anything.
I did see him getting carted off. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I didn't hear the injury report on him though.
I haven't heard anything. It's kind of like.
So to me, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Usually.
Pierce Brown. Pierce Brown is again having a very quiet outdoors. Like he was in the mix for Supercross quietly. He's finished. He goes 7-7 for 6th, and it's like I didn't even see him all day. Like hear about him, and he was top 10 both races. Like we talked on Jordan. We touched on Ty, Julian Beaumer. Not bad for your freshman outdoors. Like not bad. Yeah, it's okay. You're doing okay. The question was posed. Someone asked a question. If you had to sign a rider for the next 5 years, do you choose Julian Beaumer or Daxton Bennick?
Beaumer.
Why?
It's a lot more light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
If you ask me. He's a rookie, and I mean, he's really putting on a show. And
yeah, but Daxton Bennick made the podium in Supercross.
He did. And he's been doing it a while, though. You know what I mean?
He's still a rookie.
I don't think he's a rookie like Beaumer is, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you think more upside for Beaumer?
They're both really good. I mean, it would be a...
Which one? Because if you sign somebody for 5 years, you're probably wanting to pursue a championship.
Yeah.
And you think Beaumer is that guy that can take you to a championship?
If we're looking at Supercross, I'd say yes.
Okay. If
we're looking at outdoors, I'm probably going to pick Bennick, but we need both. So it's really that kind of would be hard.
And that was the question that was posed.
But Beaumer is the first one that came to my mind, so I don't know.
Okay. Tom Vial, rough day. Oh, Ryder DiFrancesco. By the way, what's going to happen to Ryder DiFrancesco and Pierce Brown? Because rumor is gas, go bye-bye. they're going to go in-house for this next season because I guess Troy Lee is going to be with Ducati, is what I'm hearing, and they have to start that process next year.
Man, I heard some things about this Ducati bike.
It's an awesome bike, right? It's an awesome bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I talked to the Aussie guy last week, he had some insights on it, and I guess he knows somebody that works for Ducati overseas, and they're going to sell this bike factory ready.
Wow.
A bike that you don't get that.
Yeah.
It's going to be ready to race.
Well, it's going to be expensive, and like I think we talked about, they have to make 400. They're going to make 400.
Yeah.
And they're going to sell those 400 because there's going to be. They may not be even to dirt bike racers. Yeah. They're just, it's a Ducati. Okay, we'll buy
it. And they got their name going for them already, but like I said, I heard they're going to be. You are going to be able to buy. Oh, good Lord, who's racing it?
Caroli?
Yes, you're going to be able to buy Tony Caroli's bike straight from the manufacturer.
It's going to cost you about $30,000, but
it's going to be an expensive bike. Yeah. But
their bikes are.
But that's how it's going to come. Yeah. Like it needs nothing, and I think that's awesome. Like where else can you buy a factory ready bike?
Yeah, well, you can buy the factory edition from KTM.
No, I mean if that's what you want to call it, yeah. Or you can buy the Cowie SR.
Yeah.
I mean,
which by the way I heard they're not making anymore, which I don't understand why. It can't be that big of an issue to stamp out 400 of them. And
no, but the price tag on them, I think you can buy the parts for those way cheaper than you can buy that bike.
Yeah, but then you have to have people put them on, or you put them on, or it's ready.
You're right. You're right. But
it's kind of like people buying lifted trucks from the showroom floor versus taking it to their.
I truthfully think because if you look at the Cowies just went on sale, you're able to get a KX 450 for $6,900. I mean. That's dirt cheap compared to what the prices are. So if you in your mind know that you can wait as a consumer, like why not just wait? And then the SR is $14,000. So we're almost $8,000 that you could put into that bike. That you could have two bikes. I mean, So if you're looking at a consumer standpoint, I mean. I'm not gonna buy that bike, but there is people that don't care. They'll just go out and buy it. So that's where I would be on it. But I don't know.
Real quick, touch on Muck Off FXR Club MX, whatever the team's called. Thought process. They struggle. I don't care who's on the bike. They struggle in 250 motocross with their bikes. Mm-hmm. Cody Schock's a good rider. Cody Schock finished top 10 in points in Supercross in the East Coast this year.
And put on a show.
And rode well.
Yeah.
And is a good rider. He finished 18th with a 16-18 score. I don't think Cody Schock is that poor of an outdoor rider.
No, they've never been able to figure that bike out.
Mark Phineas gave him one good ride this year on that bike. A question. Is it against, like, hey, we will run 250 East and 250 West. We may have a guy in the outdoors. I know this SMX is important, but Phil has proven we can run Supercross in 250, and we can put you on a 450 outdoors, and you can try to get into SMX. Phil's 16th, 14th, something like that in the SMX. Yeah. So he's in. Cody Schock, man, we appreciate you coming and doing a great job for us this year. We signed this contract late. We have to put you on a 450 for motocross. Well, I want to race 250.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, this is all we can offer you because apparently we can't build a bike to compete in the outdoors.
Yeah, and he's nowhere. Where is he as in SMX points?
SMX,
he's not in.
What did I print off here?
I don't even see Cody Schock.
Well, he got hurt.
Oh, yeah, he is in 15th.
Yeah, he's 15th. But that is not because of his outdoor scores.
No, but if you can get in on a 250 in Supercross, then you might be okay, I think.
So what you're saying is,
if you're riding a 250 for Supercross,
yeah,
and then you got to do good, and then go to a 450 for motocross.
But I don't think he would have been in if he hadn't run these.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at the breakdown, but
because
Garrett Marchbanks is still in on 250s right now.
Yes.
So if you have a good Supercross season on a 250, you might be able to hold your spot on that 250 if you were to go 450 for motocross. Yeah. And you can have a good season Supercross, you might be able to jump back in on a 250 in SMX.
Yeah. But Garrett's 20th right now.
Yeah.
Had he not run, well, I don't know, because who would have beat him? There's no one right now that would take points away from him.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at, see, we jumped into the SMX now, but I'm looking at Cameron McAdoo. He's back on a bike. You wonder if he was going to come back for at least 2 races and try to seal the deal, because he's 22nd. I mean, he's only two spots out.
But does he?
And
does PC say, yes, we want you to go run the last chance qualifier, all 3 rounds? Yeah. We want the bike out there, or do they say?
I'm sure.
Or do they say, no, don't worry about it?
Yeah, because what LCQ is 21 through 30, right? Yeah. So
because like Phil's not going to do it because he's in 450. He's actually qualified for 450.
So then
Will Bourdon. I don't know about Jet Reynolds. Seth Hammaker, that's another PC bike.
How do they do it? Are they doing it? So we know that Nicoletti's going to go on 450s.
Yeah.
So are they going to bump Hunter Yoder up?
That's the next person that would get the call.
Do they do it like that?
That's what they did last year.
Kind of like an alternate.
Yeah. That's what they did last year.
I couldn't remember if that's how they did it or not.
What some people are wanting to do is say, okay, these 30 guys, if you finish top 30, you're eligible you can come do the last chance. Mm-hmm. And if Henry Miller says, no, I don't want to go do it, then guess what? We're down to 8 guys in the LCQ, or 9 guys. Yeah. And if Dylan Schwartz is the only one standing, he's in. There's no LCQ. But they want the race, so they start inviting people in. And you have guys like, well, I'll take a shot. I'll give it a shot. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's what they did last year. I mean, last year, guys that weren't even close in points were getting opportunities to ride the LCQ. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, 250 side. Let's touch on that real quick. 250 side, I think we covered it. Points wise, it's over, right? Like Deegan just has to go out and have a decent weekend at Budds Creek, and it's over.
Oh yeah,
he's already 70 points ahead. So if he maintains that next weekend, it's over.
Yeah, it would take
him crashing
in Moto 1.
Him Hardy Munozing into the triple like Hardy did at Budds Creek last year.
And it would be have to be in Moto 1 because they can only get 100 points from here out. Got 2 races left. They can only get 100 total. I mean, if you need 70, essentially, Moto, he could go down to Moto 2, I guess.
Yeah.
No, because he can't. He could. It depends on where Levi Kitchen would finish. So if Levi finishes second, Hayden could go down to Moto 2, crash out. Levi could win.
Yeah.
But I would say if Deegan wins Moto 1, it's over.
Okay, I have a question for you. I don't think it's ever happened. But the way the Deegan family is, how ballsy of a move would it be like, all right, we got the championship. I'm done until SMX. I don't want to get hurt. I want that $500,000. Mm-hmm. And just say, y'all have fun next weekend in Ironman.
They ain't coming.
I'm not going.
They won't do it. I don't see it because Deegan's got to win. You know what I mean? He's just got that drive in him where he's got to win. So I don't see them letting it. It's possible.
Because you figure the outdoor bonus, brands, all that stuff, he gets that cool thing.
Yeah.
You acquire that at Budds Creek. Hey, congratulations. We're out of here.
You really think Star would let that happen?
I don't know.
I don't think.
How much control does Star have?
Yeah, there's that possible. I mean, how much control does the Deegans have over Star?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the kid's got his own helmet. He wears his own gear. It's
Nobody
Thor.
else gets that.
It's Thor, but he never matches. He does his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily care. I don't mind the team thing, but it's such an individual sport until you start saying, okay, in your communication, Deegan's coming up. You need to slow down and let him by, and then you need to get in right behind it so there's a gap. Like until they start doing that, the team aspect is thank you for the bike, and supplying me these tools. But I'm an individual.
Yep.
But no, I think for D, I don't know. I was just wondering that. I can't imagine it happening. But I also, because of the Deegan thing, could say like, hey, thanks, I got my bonus. Now I'm going to do everything in my power to win the big bonus at the SMX for these 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And Ironman, whew, that track is fast and there's some big jumps.
They'd be smart. Like, that'd be the smart way out.
Well, because he's not going to lose a seed.
No.
He's only going to lose those points. The seeding, he finished second in Supercross. I mean, if you look at where he is for SMX right now, he's seeded 1 in SMX with 576 points. Like, no one's going to take the number 1 seed from him. There's only 100 points available.
Yeah, I mean, Levi could catch up to that and take the number 1 spot.
No, because he's 400. He's 100.
No,
he's 40.
Levi's 533.
Yeah, 533.
So he's only 40 points.
So he could be the 2nd seed.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Like,
be miserable, It's,
yeah. I mean, he. So I don't know.
But that's my thing is, Hayden can't see himself in a number 2 spot in anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what a flex! I don't even have to go race. You guys have to go race.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how he wants to flex because he's going to it somewhere.
And my greater point to this is with this SMX, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that a guy like Eli Tomac had a decent Supercross season, has enough points, gets hurt, still is in qualifying position for SMX, can come back and race the end of the season. I think, in my mind, the way this starts playing out is I'm a guy who's a top 10 guy. I'm not a championship contender. I'm a top 10 guy. I start having a good season. Cool. I don't really like going to Detroit. I'm not going.
Yeah.
So I skip Detroit. I lose those points, but I know when we go outdoors, I love High Point. I love Unadilla. I might not go to Washougal because it's a long drive, long flight, whatever. And if I qualify top 20 for SMX, I'm going to get a good. I might miss out on 3 or 4 or 5 races during the season. I'm not going to win the championship anyway. But if I can put $50,000 in my pocket at the end of the season because I qualified for SMX, I could start seeing guys building schedules. There's 31 races, 28 for sure. I need to do 20 to qualify.
Yeah.
If I have a good run. If I run into problems, I'm going to have to adjust. But I can pick the 20 races I want to do, and I'll go race them. I can see that happening if the SMX continues.
Yeah, I agree.
Because why not? Economically, cool.
It makes more sense.
I save that travel money. I save this money. And teams can say, dude, you're looking kind of tired. Why don't you take next weekend off?
Yeah.
And he twisted his ankle. He's out. And then he takes a week off and he comes back. And cool. Like we say.
I do think we already see a little bit more of that. Like with injuries, just minor injuries. It looks like they take more time now because they can.
Especially if they're locked in.
Yeah. Guys used to ride hurt.
Yeah.
There's really none of that anymore.
So just thinking, and I don't think it's an evil thing. I think it's more of like managing the load. So I'm with you. I'd rather them race all the time because I just think it makes them amazing. But are we moving on to 450s?
Yeah, we'll jump into 450s. We didn't really get off topic, but SMX is something we wanted to talk about because it's coming up quickly.
Yeah, and I wanted to see like guys that are on that bubble and what they're.
And we'll get into that with 450s too. But yeah, Moto 1 Hunter comes out and finally does He looked so good. That 2025 bike.
I think he sold a bunch.
Oh yeah. And he said, like, this thing's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to race it. And
a la
he proved it.
Kawasaki with Villapoto in 2012.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to introduce this bike, and all of a sudden he just rings off everything.
Dude, that 2012, 2013 bike was amazing.
Yeah.
My 2012 Kawasaki was my favorite bike.
Was it what people say the 2008 Honda was? No, 2000, whichever bike came out, was it 2009? The bike was terrible, but 2008 the bike was awesome for Honda. Like 2008, they say the best Honda ever made. 2009, the worst Honda ever made. Like, except for Andrew Short. Andrew Short loved the 2009. Everybody else hated it.
Oh, you're gonna get that.
Yeah, but yeah, Hunter Lawrence, man, what a good job. Little brother's not here. I've got to take control. I've done all the testing on this bike. Let's see what this thing can do.
Yeah, AP was a man on a mission. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah.
The whole way through, because he was flying at the beginning.
Yes.
And then
Dylan Ferrandis.
Yeah.
Did he awaken?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a track the job with him, but
he looked good.
Same with Kenny. I mean, I was so happy to see Kenny come out there and just do what he does.
And he kind of, I think James said, he's not in the points title. He's not going to fight these guys.
No.
And you could see he kind of gave way when,
yeah,
but he was racing.
He never missed a beat.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
You know, I watched that crash in Nashville when it happened, and then you're thinking about like how long ago that was. I mean, April, and it's like he comes back and it never happened.
So, question: this Suzuki, this much maligned Suzuki, is it just because it's Ken Roczen? Could Chase Sexton? Could Hunter Lawrence? Could Jason Cooper? Just Jason Cooper. I just tied in two names. Could Jason Anderson? Could one of them hop on this bike and do that? Or is it just that it's Kenny?
Kenny loves that bike anyway.
Yeah, so he loves the bike.
Are you going to find somebody else that loves that bike? Yeah. I mean, it's the same technology for years and years. So I do believe those guys could go out and make that bike look good too. But I don't think anybody can make it look as good as Kenny does.
Because if we look down, the next Suzuki was Kyle Chisholm at 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there's not that many on the track, but it just seems weird to me that, like, the bike sucks. But Kenny comes out, and I know he's a special talent. But if the bike is that big of a problem, I don't think it would work like that, be that fast. Mm-hmm. Kenny can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know, if he hopped on my stock Yamaha, he A, would crash his brains out, and two, he would be fast, but he wouldn't be top 10 fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bike can't do it.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Suzuki's as bad as it is. It's just sad that I have a feeling it is the dinosaur and it will be going away. Have you heard the rumor that Kenny said if they don't get electric start on the bike for next year that he'll pull the pin? Have you heard that? Yeah, that's one of the rumors going around. Is I don't know. I mean,
I could see it. I mean, hurting a leg and having to kick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it either.
And it cost them a race this year.
Yeah.
It did cost them a race.
Yeah, it wouldn't start.
Yeah. So I mean, do we even touch on Chase Sexton, or is it just the guys? It is amazing to me. You remove one rider from an event, and all of a sudden, there's a different person riding a by motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy to me.
I don't. I truthfully think he was intimidated this whole time and like just gave up. But you know, we talk like that, but Chase is fast.
Yeah.
I mean, fast. They're just that kind of shows you how fast Jet is, though, too.
But he has never passed Jet when Jet hasn't crashed.
Mm-mm.
He's never passed Jet.
No, and I think that, like I said, that separates the talent level.
Yeah. Because
Jet's just incredible. I mean, and he's going to come back and he's going to be just as incredible as he was. I mean, I know there was talk like, is he going to be able to dominate when he comes back? And nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
It'll be exactly the same, if not better. He'll be even better.
If he can't, does he skip SMX?
Jet won't skip SMX. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Because
he's made some good money.
He's made some good money. My question is, if there is an opportunity, mind games here. If there's an opportunity that he comes back, but he's not 100%, and that opens the door for Chase to beat him. Doesn't matter that he's injured. If Chase gets in his mind that he can beat him, we move to 2025 Supercross. Versus if Jet doesn't come back at all and Chase wins the SMX, congratulations, you made a little extra money than me, but you still haven't beat me.
Yeah.
Just thinking coach-wise, like, I know the rider wants to ride, but the rider also doesn't want to get beat. And the rider doesn't want to give ammunition to his closest competitor. His closest competitor is not his brother. His closest competitor is Chase.
Definitely.
Not even Eli.
Yeah. I think he's going to come back and fight for it, if he can come back.
Yeah.
You know, we look at Eli and Eli should be back this weekend, supposedly.
It didn't work out too well for Cooper.
No. But if you look at Eli and Cooper both that had the exact same injury, they were out for a while.
Yeah. So and Jet's got the same one.
The exact same thing, and we're trying to get him back in a month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Maybe Eli and Cooper drug it out. Jet's also much younger than them.
Yeah.
So things do heal quicker.
Yeah, that is very true. It is very true. But no, I think Chase Sexton is riding. I mean, he put 6 seconds on the first lap and then pretty much maintained 13, 14 the whole race. Like, he was by himself. Like, literally just by himself.
Yeah.
But I think we have to touch on Dylan Ferrandis. He looked good the second moto. The fact that he ended up third, pretty impressive. I know he finished 4th overall, but 3rd. Jason Anderson looked good. Like you said, Plessinger looked good. I think Plessinger is okay that he's not the fastest. Yeah. He just, if it's available, I'll do it. If I can go with him, I can go with him.
He's going to be a fan favorite no matter what. I mean, it doesn't matter where he finishes, but he's still finishing well.
He's getting on the box.
Yeah, he's good.
He's fine.
And he's getting better every year. Yeah. I mean, I would never expect him to be where he's at now, you know, based on years past. Ferrandis, I think it was an off weekend for him in a good way.
So you don't expect to see the same thing in Butts Creek?
I don't. I think it was just maybe the track was finally something that he likes. Maybe, I don't know, but he's not that fast.
Because he looked good.
He did.
He looked really good.
But he doesn't ever look that good.
No. Because guys that were putting pressure on him, he was able to fight that pressure off. Like Jason Anderson and him battled for a while, and he just kind of separated himself. Yeah. And I thought that was good. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Dylan Ferrandis fan.
Yeah.
But a good ride is a good ride.
I never expected Cooper Webb to be in 15th.
Yeah.
You know, I guarantee you there's a lot of points were lost in fantasy this week because people probably put him much higher than what he was.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and I wonder if he got tired or if the hand started hurting. I mean, you figure your grip, all that pressure.
Yeah.
Once you're starting to have to compensate, you lose the thumb, you start putting a lot of pressure through the forearm.
Yeah.
You're going to get tired, more tired.
Kenny with the 7th overall was really good for his amount of time off the bike. Christian Craig in 8th. I mean, he's keeping steady top 10s.
Yeah, he and Malcolm just hung out together.
Yeah.
Which is funny, they hung out together, but they really weren't that close together.
No.
Christian looked good. Grant Harlan, just another. That's funny to me. He's come back. He's also done the kind of the Christian Craig thing. It took him a while to rebuild, and he's building back. The battle of the battles. Harry Koulas, Phil Nicoletti, Shane McElrath, Colt Nickel, all those guys are battling to try to get into that SMX. Harry Koulas, dude, this could be the story of the year.
Yeah. He's in right now.
Yeah.
You know, with 18, Dean Wilson won't be coming back.
No, Dean's living his best life.
Yeah. Justin Hill.
I don't think he's coming back.
I doubt it. Obviously, AC's done. Benny Bloss. Don't know about that.
Benny Bloss was on Pulp Show last night, and I did not listen to it, so I don't know what the prognosis is.
So might have some insights for that later on, but
can Colt Nichols jump 7 spots in the next 2 weeks?
No. Well, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dean Wilson's not going to be there.
Let's see. Colt Nichols has 70 points. Dean Wilson has 119.
Colt Nichols finished 17th this weekend.
50 points in 2 weeks.
And
possible. Yeah.
And how many did he get this weekend? He got 8 this weekend? Because he didn't even get points the first moto.
8, yeah.
So he only got 8 points this weekend.
So
he's going to need to finish top 10, right?
Every moto.
Because what's 10th pay? Grant Harlan finished 10th. Where's Grant Harlan? Grant Harlan finished 10th. So he got 17. Grant Harlan got 17 points. So that's still only be 34 with a Grant Harlan went 11-10? No, 12-11. What did he get? I don't remember, but I just don't know. I don't know if he, it'll be so. But then does HEP say, "Yeah, man, we want you to do the LCQs. There's a good chance you'll get in."
I guarantee he's going to be an LCQ.
Okay. Since we're going with Kenny,
regardless, he'll be there.
We're going with Kenny.
Yeah.
You might as well come race.
Yep.
Cullen Park, he'll go do it.
Definitely.
Will Vince Freeze? Well, is there still a Moto Concepts team? Because Mumford left.
I don't
Oldenburg
know.
left.
I don't know what they got going on.
Because there's nothing there. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, and Garrett Marchbanks will be in the 250s. Jorge Prado is not coming. Cade Clayson, Derek Drake, Jerry Robin. Jerry Robin would be a guy if they called. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll come.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the LCQ." Ty Masterpool's now in the 250s.
Yep.
Alvin Ostlund is not. He's back racing, I think, over in MXGPs. So I don't know. I mean, you look at the top 20. Kyle Chisholm will do everything in his power to maintain that. With Dean Wilson gone, Justin Hill gone.
Yeah, I don't think he has an issue.
It's only if he, because I don't think Colt can get 52 points.
I don't think so.
Unless he comes out this weekend and finishes top 5.
Yeah, see what happens. Like if something goes crazy.
Yeah.
I don't see he's not going to be top 5. He's not a top 5 rider with the field.
But this is the part that I think you and I enjoy with the SMX. So, Jet Lawrence has 561 points. Now, more than likely, he's probably going to, because Justin Cooper could pass him. Aaron Plessinger, maybe. So he's going to finish 5th, 6th, or 7th going into seedings.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Tomac is 11th. Tomac cannot drop out of the top 20. And if he comes back, he'll do okay. Cooper Webb solidified himself in this weekend. McElrath saved himself because he got on another bike and started racing. Christian Craig will move up. I'm guessing Christian Craig will beat McElrath and maybe catch Ken. Ken says he can't be caught. So I don't know. I can't imagine that maybe he'll be 13th or 14th. But I don't know. I mean, I look at those and I'm like, it's so cool that Eli's hurt and Cooper Webb was hurt and Jet Lawrence is hurt, but they all can come back to try to win in the end.
Mm-hmm.
They can win the SMX,
the big championship,
the fake championship.
Yeah, that pays like triple points at the end, so it doesn't even matter anyway.
But how cool is it? Guys like Freddie Noren, Phil Nicoletti, Grant Harlan, Harry Coulis, Marshall Wilton, and Kyle Chisholm are all pretty much guaranteed that if they make it to SMX, they're going to minimum get a check for $25,000.
Oh yeah, they're making money. I mean, regardless, they're going to make a ton of money.
So how cool is that they're going to, all we had to do was put in this effort. I mean, Phil Nicoletti's been working his butt off, for the outdoors to qualify.
Yeah.
Because he had nothing coming into this. Grant Harlan, pretty much the same way. Harry Koulas, the same way. Marshall Welton, the same way. So congratulations to those guys for just grinding it out to get in there. But I think that's what is cool is there is a reason to try hard.
Yeah.
Maybe not for the top guys, because we're in. If we're not the number one seed, who cares? It's okay. Well, if we win the second race, we get all those points back anyway because it's double points. It's like, I think the throwaway race is the first one because it's only single points.
Yeah, and like I said, and then it doesn't matter after that because they get so many points that to me it doesn't even justify a true winner.
Yeah.
But, anybody could come up through there and almost take the thing.
Well, because wasn't it last year like Jordan Smith? If he had won the last race the way it was working out, he could have won the championship.
Yeah.
Something like that. One of those guys had a chance to win the thing from way downtown. Like, I don't.
And big money.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's really.
I mean, it's cool for those guys because anybody has a chance to win. They win massive amounts of money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but for those guys that are at the bottom, those are big paydays for them.
Yeah.
Like Phil Nicoletti, I know he's a special guy in the sport, but still, for him to make an extra $75,000, go to your office, work for 31 weeks, and see if they write you a bonus check for $75,000.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
And say like, oh wow, okay, this grind was worth it.
And it's life changing.
Yeah.
For the average person.
Yeah, especially a guy like Cade Clayson a couple years ago won the Steve Mathis privateer shootout.
Mm-hmm.
He took all of that money that he made, it was like $20-something thousand, $30-something thousand, and paid for a training facility for the year.
Yeah.
Well, that got him into where he started making mains more frequently, which got him more money. And you think a guy like Harry Koulas, if he comes over and he gets a check for $25,000, all this work he's done, this vacation he's been on he's an older guy too. It's like for him, this is fun.
Yeah.
Well, that made it worth it. So I think that part of it is cool. They don't cover those stories because it's much more sexy to cover Jet and Chase.
Yeah. No, it's the lower guys in the SMX to me that mean all the more. I mean, that's kind of where we come into play, the human aspect of all of this. Because that's the show, the chase, the jet, the hunter. That's the show of the sport, and that's where they get paid.
Yeah.
We like to cover the human aspect of these guys got to make money or they're not going to keep doing this.
Well, it's like I think of Colt Nichols last year. He got his own bike, hired a mechanic, figured out what the cost was to what he would get minimum at the SMX if he qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, the worst I can do is break even.
Yeah. But
I will be on a bike for outdoors and SMX and people will see me.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And whether you feel great or not that he left Beta, he now has another ride. He's kept himself viable because he sucked it up, went and bought his own bike, hired his own mechanic, and did those to get into the SMX, and then ended up making a little money.
Yeah, it's a grind.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the guys that grind like that are the ones that succeed. So.
But no, I think real quick, some of the ones we always touch on. Congratulations to the guys who qualified. Congratulations, the kid and his uncle. I think it's his uncle. They are just grinding it out all summer long. Aiden Shive. Mm-hmm. He even got a little TV time because he got a little close to Ferrandis there at one point.
Yeah.
But he and his uncle, they drove all the way up there, drove all the way home, getting the bikes turned around to drive back to Budds Creek. And nothing's happening for this kid. Nothing's coming out. But guess what? They're giving him the opportunity, and he's had the chance to see what it's like.
Yeah, and he's a little backstory about him. He's around Dade City a lot. He's from Dade City. The Robert Noah Foundation. He's sponsored by them. Pulling in a lot of inside sponsors or outside sponsors, and just out there trying to do it. I know he rides with Hunter and Jet quite a bit, so can't really beat that. it's just that's the true privateer life there.
Yeah.
Like those guys are rebuilding them bikes under. I know when the storm went through, their little tarp lean-to that they rebuild the bikes under got knocked down. So he's like, I finally got to rebuild that. His uncle, but it's cool. Yeah, they're always around, and that's the true grind. You know what they're doing.
And then you wonder, like, how long does someone like that able to just maintain that?
Yeah. They took a day quite a few weeks ago. They took a collection for him to get to one of the races.
Yeah.
But he ended up racing with us during Washougal, I think, because it was just too far.
Yeah.
Which that track is too far for a lot of these guys, so they just don't do it. But yeah, that grind is the true privateer motocross life.
But he put it in. They had a little trouble. LCQ goes out, gets in through the LCQ, and then guess what? He didn't get any points, but 32nd overall. He's there. He's competing. He's living the dream that a lot of people would like to live. Mm-hmm. But we have to touch on Jake Masterpool. I don't know if everything's okay with Jake. He finished 29th in the first moto, didn't race the second moto. And we also have to touch on Evan Ferry. What is going on with our Florida boy, Evan Ferry?
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't work.
It's not working.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Yeah.
So I really don't. I don't have a lot of hopes for his future.
I don't know where he's not making himself worthy to go anywhere else. If that makes sense. Like he's not.
No.
And I don't know.
He's not a desirable candidate.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Do they take a chance and try to do East Coast Supercross again next year? I mean, or do you just become a test rider or something? Yeah. Because I don't know, man. It's just weird to me. It is weird. The sands of the season are starting to shift. We're getting the contracts are not quite ready to go, but it's that season has October 1st. We should have most of the moves.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. There's going to be some shifts in the industry this year for sure. There's going to be teams that come and go. Like I said, I want to know what's going on with Moto Concepts. Are they done? Because I know there are two riders, Mumford and Freckle. I thought they both separated from the team.
Yeah. Maybe they're just saving some money and they'll get some Supercross riders again.
But if they don't have a team, then Vince Friese doesn't have a ride. Because there's no one else that's hiring Vince Friese.
Nobody's picking him up.
So, I don't know, man. That was Unadilla. The track was awesome. The racing was fantastic. This weekend, Budds Creek, another cool track, very natural terrain track with some big jumps and some jumps that shouldn't be big jumps. That one rider made a big jump one time. And Henry Hill, that one of the coolest posters ever by Fox. With his broken back. And Christian Craig also did one of those too one time. But this is our closest national. If you're in Florida and we don't get nationals, we have multinational tracks in this area, but we don't get a national. So if you have the chance to get to Budds Creek this weekend, right outside of Washington, D.C., and go check it out. And then next weekend is Ironman. The weekend after is Ironman, and then they get a week off, and then we get into the, as everybody likes to call it for some reason, the Super Duper Cross. Yeah. And so we will have 2 straight weeks of podcast, and then we may take a week before the SMX because the SMX will cover that very intently.
In depth. Yeah. That's pretty important. So we'll get our act in order around here,
and we'll get the studio. Well, I won't. Derek will get the studio in shape and get it so that we maybe can have some different technologies at some point. We're still learning. We're actually trying another camera. It's hiding back in the corner. We're trying some things with it today. So we're not going anywhere. We're just trying to figure out exactly where we're going.
Yeah, it takes time. Well, now we finally got things in order a little bit. We can.
Any racing at Dade City this weekend?
This coming weekend we got.
Okay.
We got a race, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, Dade City, always there. You can count on it. It's like a watch. It's always there.
Yeah, I mean that's our local track. So we want gate time. We go to Dade City. We got Florida Gold Cup coming up. So
I saw the schedule for that posted.
Yeah. So we'll see if we're going to do that or what we're going to do. We might just save some money and keep working on the house here.
Keep doing Dade City.
Yeah, just finish out the year there strong and move on to next year. I don't know yet. We'll see.
We'll get there. We'll get there when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, this has been episode 63, the Unadilla recap, and we will see you all early next week for Budds Creek. Bye-bye. See you.